Hello, welcome to a video on solving a word problem using algebra equations. When I take a look at this word problem, we have a local fire company having an ox roast as a fundraiser. They're going to sell children's meals for $10, so I'm going to underline that. That seems like an important detail. And adult meals for $15. Again, seems like an important detail. They have supplies to package 2,400 meals. So when I read that, it sounds like the total meals. They hope to raise at least $32,000. So that sounds like a total as well, total money. How many kids' meals and how many adult meals should they package to meet their goal? So whenever we work on a word problem, the first thing we want to do is use variables to answer the question. So our question is to have a number of kids' meals and a number of adult meals. So I used X and Y, and I did type these out. So if I can get them to show here. There we go. So I used X for the number of kids' meals, and I used Y for the number of adult meals. And once I figure out X and Y, I've answered the question. So we've talked about as our strategy to have an items equation and to have a value equation. And this word problem really fits that strategy. So when we're thinking about items, the items that we're dealing with are meals. So they're selling so many meals. And we noted up here that it was 2,400 meals that they were selling. So some of those are going to be kids' meals, so X. Some of those are adult meals, so plus Y is 2,400 meals total. And then the second part of it is the value. And so the value is the money in this case, because each of those meals costs some money. So X was our kids' meals, and they cost $10 a meal, so 10X. Y was our adult meals, they cost $15 a meal, so 15Y. And the value of all those meals, we're hoping to raise $32,000. So I'm going to take my equations to the Desmos graphing calculator in order to solve them. So pull my calculator into my view here, click on the space for the 1, and type my first equation. Click next to the 2, type my second equation. All right. So once again, I don't see anything on my graph, and that's because my numbers are bigger than what the graph is showing me. So I can use the zoom out with the little minus here, and you can see that it's just jumping and zooming out. I can also use my mouse and scroll down, and that will help me as well. There I got my line. So I can then click and drag so that I can see more details, like that my view of the graph is exactly where I want it. And I know that my answer is where these two meet, because that will be numbers that fit both equations. So I click where it appears they meet, and then Desmos will show me some key points on that line. So I hover near that point, and I get 800 and 1,600. So coming back here to my screen, I have the ordered pair 800, 1,600. Ordered pairs always come in alphabetical order, so this is my X value, this is my Y value. Putting that in context, X was kids' meals, so we should sell 800 kids' meals or package them for sale. And Y is adult meals, so 1,600 adult meals. Now, really cool thing is that I can double check this and make sure that it works. So in my items equation, I can just take 800 plus 1,600, and that does indeed equal 2,400 on my calculator, so that one checks. Down here in this one, I can also substitute these in for x and y. So if I take 10 times 800 plus 15 times 1,600, so 10 times 800 is 8,000, and 15 times 1,600 is 24,000. And then if I add those together, that does equal 32,000, exactly like I wanted. And so that one also checks. So I can check my work because I took the time to write down what my x and y stood for. And so I know where to put each number into the formulas, or in your homework, you know where to put each number in MyMathLab.